Fortinet appliances are being hijacked in the wild. Cisco just admitted attackers had root access for weeks, and a fake Chrome extension is literally crashing browsers to install a brand new rat. Meanwhile, Russian hacktivists are hammering UK critical infrastructure. A Supreme Court hacker posted stolen data on Instagram, and ransomware operators are being raided across Europe. These aren't theoretical threats. These are live fire cyber incidents hitting the tools and platforms that organizations trust the most. Today, we're breaking down real-world exploits, 0 days, cloud privilege failures, and global cybercrime takedowns so you understand not just what happens, but why it matters to your security right now. Let's get into it. Welcome to Threatopia, breaking down real cyber attacks, why they work, and how to reduce risk. This is the latest cyber news summarized using MITRE ATT&CK and security fundamentals. I'm your host, Mike Kramer, a cybersecurity veteran with over 20 years experience. Make sure to watch till the end to find out ChatGPT's latest new feature. Upcoming major cybersecurity events, we have the RSA Conference 2026 that will take place from March 23rd to March 26th at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, California. We have SANS 2026, March 29th through April 3rd in Orlando, Florida at the Hyatt Regency. And that's the full SANS curriculum under one roof. Security tip of the day is to stop trusting login emails even when they look perfect. Right now, one of the fastest growing attack methods is real-time phishing using AI and adversary in the middle. These attacks don't just steal passwords, they steal live session cookies and MFA tokens, letting attackers log you in even with multi-factor authentication enabled. All right, we got 11 more stories today, so let's get busy. Number 1, critical Fortinet flaw exploited for full appliance takeover. A critical vulnerability in Fortinet FortiSIM, tracked as a CVE, of course, is under active exploitation and allows unauthenticated attackers to execute arbitrary code or commands via crafted TCP requests. The flaw enables remote code execution as the admin user and privilege escalation to root, granting full control of the appliance. The vulnerability affects the PH monitor service, which is integral to FortiSIM's operation. The MITRE attack here is T1190, exploit public-facing application, T1068, exploitation for privilege escalation, and T1202, indirect command execution, which allows unauthenticated attackers to execute arbitrary commands remotely. The defense recovery here is apply the latest security patches from Fortinet immediately and monitor for signs of unauthorized access. Restrict access to the affected service port as recommended. This matters because successful exploitation grants attackers complete control over FortiSIM appliances, potentially compromising the security of entire networks. Number 2, malicious Chrome extension crashes browsers to deploy Modelo Rat. Researchers uncovered an ongoing campaign where a fake Chrome extension posing as an ad blocker deliberately crashes browsers and tricks users into running commands that install Modelo Rat, a new remote access Trojan. The extension mimics uBlock Origin Lite and uses social engineering, resource exhaustion, and anti-analysis techniques to sustain infections and evade detection. The MITRE ATT&CK TTPs here are T1204, that's user execution. Victims are tricked into running malicious commands via fake security warnings. T1499, the endpoint denial of service by crashing browsers. T1059, command and scripting interpreter. T1071, the application layer protocol, as the RAT communicates with command and control servers using HTTP and RC4 encrypted channels. Your defense or recovery here is that organizations should restrict browser extension installations to trusted sources, monitor for unauthorized extensions, and educate users about social engineering tactics involving fake security alerts. This attack enables deep system compromise, persistent access, and potential follow-on malware deployment, posing significant risks to both individuals and corporate environments. Number 3, researchers exploit StealC malware panel flaw to unmask threat actor operations. CyberArk researchers discovered a cross-site scripting vulnerability in the StealC malware control panel, enabling them to monitor threat actor sessions and steal cookies from the attackers themselves. The StealC information stealer, distributed via YouTube and other social engineering tactics, has compromised hundreds of thousands of passwords and millions of cookies. The exposed flaw also revealed operational details and the real IP address of a key threat actor. The MITRE attack here is T1059, command and scripting interpreter. The defense or recovery here would be that web application developers should rigorously validate and encode user input to prevent XSS or cross-site scripting vulnerabilities in control panels. This matters because this exposure allowed researchers to gather intelligence on malware operations, potentially aiding law enforcement and disrupting malicious campaigns. Number 4, OpenAI introduces ads in ChatGPT for free and Go users. So this is not so much a cybersecurity event or attack, but I find it interesting, especially as so many of us are using various AI tools. So this is a good thing to be aware of. OpenAI announced it will be displaying ads to logged-in adult U.S. users on its free and Go ChatGPT plans. The company emphasized that user data and conversations will remain private from advertisers, and users will have control over ad personalization and feedback options. Just a reminder here that users should regularly review and adjust their privacy and ad personalization settings in all of the apps you use to maintain control over their data. The introduction of ads in ChatGPT could impact user privacy expectations and influence how businesses and individuals interact with AI platforms. Number 5, Cisco patches a critical 0-day after weeks of active exploitation. Its UAT 9686 is the threat actor. Cisco has patched a critical 0-day vulnerability in its secure email gateway and secure email and web manager products, which allowed attackers to gain root access if the spam quarantine feature was exposed to the internet. The flaw, tracked as a CVE, was actively exploited for weeks by a Chinese Nexus threat actor before a fix was released. The MITRE attack here is T1190, exploit public-facing application, where they exploit a vulnerability in a public-facing email security appliance, T1546, event-triggered execution, and T1070, indicator removal on host. Your defense recovery here is to promptly apply the latest patches from Cisco to fully remediate this vulnerability and remove any attacker persistence. This vulnerability enabled attackers to fully compromise affected email security appliances, posing a severe risk to organizations' email integrity and security. Number 6, privilege escalation flaws in Google Vertex AI raise insider threat concerns. XM Cyber discovered privilege escalation vulnerabilities in Google Vertex AI, allowing low privilege users to hijack high privilege service agent roles due to default configurations. These vulnerabilities stem from broad permissions granted to managed service agents, which can be exploited by users with minimal access. Google responded that the system is working as intended, highlighting a structural design flaw in the platform. Related MITRE attack TTPs here are T1078, valid accounts. The defense recovery involved is to regularly audit and monitor service agent activity, implement compensating controls, and limit authentication scopes to reduce the risk of privilege escalation. This matters because these flaws could allow insiders or attackers to gain unauthorized access to sensitive resources, potentially going undetected and putting enterprise data at risk. Number 7, Supreme Court hacker pleads guilty after posting stolen data on Instagram. Nicholas Moore, a Tennessee man, admitted to hacking the U.S. Supreme Court's electronic filing system and breaching accounts at AmeriCorps and the Department of Veterans Affairs using stolen credentials. He accessed sensitive data multiple times and posted victims' personal and health information on Instagram. Moore pleaded guilty to 1 count of computer fraud. MITRE attack here, take a guess, T1078, valid accounts. He used stolen credentials to access restricted systems and accounts. The defense recovery involved here is to implement strong multi-factor authentication and monitor for unusual login activity to prevent unauthorized access using stolen credentials. This matters because victims' sensitive personal and health information was exposed publicly, increasing risks of identity theft and privacy violations. Number 8. Jordanian access broker pleads guilty to selling corporate network credentials. Faras Khalil Ahmad al-Bashidi, also known as R1Z, pleaded guilty to selling access to at least 50 corporate networks. He was identified and arrested after selling network access to an undercover law enforcement officer in exchange for cryptocurrency. MITRE attack here? Take a guess. Come on. All right. Yep. It's T1078 valid accounts because he sold access to valid credentials. The defense recovery here would be to regularly audit user accounts and credentials and promptly revoke access for suspicious or unused accounts. Selling access credentials enables other threat actors to breach networks, steal data, deploy ransomware, or conduct espionage. Number 9. OpenAI tests Sonata feature, hints at audio or music integration in ChatGPT. So here is another OpenAI or AI-related story, not necessarily a threat. I like music. You might be able to tell from the guitars in the background, so I just thought this was worth mentioning. OpenAI is reportedly testing a new feature or product codenamed Sonata, as indicated by new host names such as sonata.openai.com and sonata.api.openai.com. While the exact nature of Sonata is unclear, it may relate to music or audio experiences within ChatGPT. Additionally, ChatGPT has improved its ability to reference and display past chat details and is enhancing dictation capabilities. Of course, there's no related MITRE attack for that, and not really a defense recovery, other than this is related to monitoring new subdomains and product features for potential security implications, and updates access controls as needed, especially for any subdomains for your business. This matters because new features and subdomains can introduce security or privacy considerations for users and organizations integrating with apps such as ChatGPT. Number 10, Russian hacktivist groups ramp up DDoS attacks on UK critical infrastructure. DDoS stands for Distributed Denial of Service. There's also Dr. DOS or DRDoS, which is Direct Reflective Denial of Service, where attackers use compromised systems to send multiple simultaneous requests to a target, making it appear as if the requests originate from the target itself. Both these types of attacks are more severe than traditional denial of service attacks. This particular event was DDoS. Russian-aligned hacktivist groups are intensifying disruptive cyber attacks against UK organizations, particularly targeting local government and critical infrastructure. These attacks, mainly denial of service attacks, aim to overwhelm websites and essential online services, causing outages and operational disruption. The UK National Cybersecurity Centre has issued warnings urging organizations to strengthen their cyber defenses. MITRE attack here is T1499, endpoint denial of service, and the defense and recovery would be organizations should regularly review and update their DOS protections to improve resilience against service disruptions. Why it matters: these attacks can prevent citizens from accessing essential services and disrupt critical operations, posing significant risks to public and private sector organizations. Number 11, and our last story of the day, is that Black Basta ransomware suspects were raided in Ukraine amid a global crackdown. So Ukrainian and German law enforcement raided the homes of two suspected Black Basta ransomware group members, seizing digital evidence and cryptocurrency. The suspects allegedly acted as hash crackers, enabling unauthorized access and ransomware deployment against hundreds of organizations. Authorities also identified Oleg Evgenovich Nefedov as the suspected leader, placing him on international most wanted lists, such as Interpol's Red Notice. And yes, that's not just a movie, that's a real thing. So MITRE attack best fit here would be T1110 brute force with involved with cracking password hashes, T1486 data encrypted for impact, as the group deployed ransomware to encrypt data within compromised organizations. The defense recovery here would be to implement strong password policies, MFA or multi-factor authentication, and regular offline backups to prevent and recover from ransomware attacks. This matters because these attacks cause significant financial damages to hundreds of organizations, highlighting the severe impact that ransomware groups still have on businesses worldwide. If you like this episode, please rate the podcast 5 stars. It helps support the show. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time, and stay safe out there.